Good morning. So you have hopefully read in announcements that your assignment for today is to read chapter 9 and then do the discussion forum in discussions, okay? As always, this discussion will just be your block, so you won't see the other classes' answers and responses. You'll just be engaging with kids in your own class period, okay? I don't want you to skip chapter 9 just because it's short. It's really short, but this is a really important chapter. This is a big turning point for us. You should have noticed by now that all of the chapter names, and we've talked about this, give you a clue about what's going to happen. And this one is has the word death in it. So we're going to see our second death in chapter 9. Hopefully you've already read it and you've seen it, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you watch Simon's death here in this video, so you don't have to click on anything else. If you don't want to watch it, just fast forward to the part where this is over, and then I'm going to go over some study guide questions with you, talk about what happened, why it's important, so that you'll be better equipped to do your discussion forum, okay? So I'm going to play this for you quickly. Again, if you don't want to watch or you want to just skip this, that's fine. You can fast forward until it's over, okay? Okay, so they're all hysterical, remember? Kill the pig. They're kind of like out of their minds in this like crazy savage dance trance thing they have going on. It's very weird. Okay, look, no one knows what's going on, right? They're all hysterical. It's this frenzy of hunting, rage, hysteria, lots of screaming. Okay, here's Simon coming out of the woods. Hey guys, I got good news. There is no beast, right? I found it. There is no beast. Oh, yikes. This part is so sad. All right, look how little they are. You can see in the scene how tiny they are. Okay, and there is Simon's little dead body. Now, I guess all the blood would have washed off of him at this point. But he's just been stabbed to death by kids 12 and under, okay? Because they were in such a frenzy and they've hyped themselves up so much over this beast. Nobody took the time to say, hey, that's an actual person, okay? Now notice this music. It's kind of like angelic. Okay. And at the end of that chapter, we see his body wash out to sea and he's gone. So Simon, who came to bring the good news, is now our second murder. All right. They savagely killed him with spears in the middle of this frenzy. Okay. This is what you're going to need pulled up as I go over this with you. So if you go into files, I want you to have your study guide pulled up. And then you may want to pull the book up. And then I'm actually going to use the allegory notes too. Okay. So I'll show you those in just a second. Let's go to the study guide questions. We really only have to talk about the first three. The rest of them are chapters 10 and 11. Number 1 says, what does Simon find when he finally reaches the beast? He found the parachutist, okay? It wasn't a beast, guys. It was just this guy in a parachute. We don't have anything to be afraid of, and so he's coming back to bring this good news to them, this relief, but they are too consumed with themselves and with the hunting frenzy to even realize it's him. Number 2, what happens to Simon when he returns to the group? Obviously, they kill him, okay? They don't take the time to see that it's him. They just see something moving in the woods and stab him to death. Number 3, as a result of the storm with its high winds and high tides, what happens to the bodies of Simon and the parachutist washed out to sea? Okay, now this will be significant as we keep reading. They don't even have to deal with the ramifications of killing Simon. They don't have to bury him. They don't have to acknowledge his body. They don't have to look at what they've done in the daylight. Nature just washes it out to sea, and they can pretend like nothing happened, which is really, really sad. Okay. If we take a look at the actual text, this is 94 of the PDF. At the very end, we've got this last paragraph tells us that the great wave of the tide moved farther along the island and the water lifted, and Simon's dead body moved out towards the open sea. Okay. This is so sad. This is kind of like proof of the state that they're in, what Jack has led them to. They're kind of out of their minds. It's like they're drunk with the need to hunt and kill. I mean, they are literally chanting, kill the beast. Okay. So this feels devastating. Simon was, he was different, but he was kind. And that's really important. So I'm going to move into these notes. And I want us to talk just quickly about the religious allegory, okay? Obviously, there are 2 other kinds. We've got social, and we see a lot of that going on, right? When Jack says, I'm not going to play with you anymore, I'm going to start my own island, and they kind of divide into 2 groups. We see him turning into this savage, nature versus nurture. That's our social allegory. And then we certainly have political historical, right? When they divide into 2, that absolutely starts to mirror the Cold War thing, the Soviet Union versus the rest of the world. So keep those in the back of your mind. But what I really want to talk about in chapter 9 is the religious allegory, because Simon is a really important figure in the religious allegory. We talked in class already about how he was different and he enjoyed being in nature and he was kind to the little kids. He would pick fruit. But all of that kind of led up to this ultimate culmination of him really being this Jesus figure in the story, and building the religious allegory up more. Okay. So on this slide, I want us to look at the second bullet point. Lord of the Flies, the pig's head obviously represents Satan or evil in the story. So remember, allegory uses symbols. So we have this actual symbol of the pig's head on a stick. The name Lord of the Flies actually backwards translates to Beelzebub, which was another name for Satan in the Bible. So remember, he chose these names intentionally. Everything down to their names was intentional for the purpose of making this statement through the allegory, okay? So Lord of the Flies represents the devil, Satan, evil, okay? And he says, I'm in all of y'all, okay? Y'all all have this in you. And then we have Simon. He is absolutely this Christ-like symbol in the religious allegory. He represents Christ in so many ways. We talked earlier about how he was nice to the kids and he would pick fruit for them. There is a story in the Bible where everybody's telling the little kids to get away from Jesus, and Jesus says, "No, let the little children come to me," and he welcomes them. And then the last bullet point, when he goes out and he's talking to the pig's head, which represents the devil. This is also symbolic of a story in the Bible where Jesus was out in the desert, trying to just enjoy some time alone. I think he was out there for 40 days praying, and the devil showed up and was having this conversation with him. So Simon's conversation with the Lord of the Flies, the pig's head in the woods, is symbolic of that. I mean, there's so many parallels here to Simon being this Jesus character if William Golding is making a religious statement, okay? If we go to the next page, we've already kind of talked about what their names mean. We're going to stay here, and it's not on here, but when we think about Simon's death, and how he is this Jesus figure, I want you to think about what he was coming back to tell them from the woods. He was bringing good news, right? That could have saved them from themselves, from their fear. Hey, there is no beast. It's just a parachute. And instead of listening to his good news, they killed him. Okay. So you see this sentence right here that says sacrificial lamb. That is a parallel to Jesus. The message of the Bible for people who believe that is that Jesus came to bring this good news that would save these people. And instead of listening to the good news, they killed him. Okay. So Simon, absolutely written as a Jesus figure here. Here's one more interesting parallel. When, again, according to the Bible, for people that believe that, when Jesus died in the Bible, it says that nature reacted. Thunder and lightning and earthquakes and storms and black clouds. So when Jesus said, "It is finished," and he died, there was this like immediate response from nature. And we see that here too, right? There is a storm. Immediately it starts pouring, raining, and the storm kind of washes him out to sea. So in the religious allegory, Simon is absolutely this like Jesus figure, okay? He brought them good news. He had good news that it could have saved them, changed the course of their life on the island, but they didn't listen to him at all. They killed him instead, okay? So lots of deep meaning going on here, of course. Your assignment for today is going to be to complete a discussion forum. I'll go ahead and show it to you. I've got it up and ready for you in Canvas. Each class, like I said, is going to have their own. So you've got 4 red threads you need to answer, and then you'll need to respond to 2 classmates, okay? Hopefully not too much work today since chapter 9 was so short. And then after this, we've only got 3 chapters left. I appreciate y'all staying with it. Remember, our goal for our time while we're out is to finish this book, okay? So stay with me. I'm going to give you as much help as I can. If you have any questions or if there's anything you don't understand, absolutely send me a message. Remember, you have supplemental sources to help. Anything you can find online, Course Hero is great. Advocate for yourself, okay? Miss you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.